big change also that happened recently is how we exchange messages. Sending SMS is so yesterday. Today in China, we have WeChat. In Japan, we have Line, KakaoTalk in South Korea. Also, we heard WhatsApp acquisition, 19 billion USD. Also, Tango got investment of 280 million USD. So, we are pleased to organize a chat with Uri Raz, who is a serial entrepreneur, and also Tango CEO, and our moderator, Barrett, Parkman, to talk about mobile messengers. Please welcome them.
So today, it's my pleasure to interview Uri. Uri has been a long-time entrepreneur. I think he's founded, I believe, 5 different companies.
7.
What's that?
7.
Scratch that. 7 different companies. So he's a very well-experienced entrepreneur and CEO. So it is really my honor to have you here with us. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just get right to it. Tango first launched, I believe, in 2009. Is that correct?
You're right.
And it was primarily a kind of a competitor to FaceTime and to Skype. At that time, you quickly gained traction. I think you already had tens of millions of users at that point. And then in 2012, you made a big move, and you pivoted the company, or really, I should say, grew the company, or grew the product of the company to go from more, a pure video chat platform to what became a mobile messaging and entertainment platform. So I'd like to help evaluate that risk. So how difficult was that change in your company? How difficult was that risk to make for you as the CEO?
Yeah, so back then in 2009, we tried to solve a problem that actually personally impacted me and my co-founder. I'm from Israel, he's from French, and we tried to video chat with our families outside of USA. And it was not easy problem to solve on cross-platform, cross-network over 3G. It took us a year, and we got tens of millions of users. But we saw the evolution on mobile, and we saw what's happening in the world, and we realized that by the end of the day, video chat, it will be a feature and a full platform. And this is where we took the decision, number one, to vertically add all the messaging, but top of messaging, develop it as a content platform and social discovery. So this is where we are today. Okay,
and so I guess 3 years later, or 4 years later, excuse me, how do you evaluate that risk today? Are you happy you made that decision?
Yes.
Understatement, right?
With more than 200 million users, 70 million active, and we are actually part of a very small group of just 4 companies in the world that took the mobile messaging for messaging to be a platform and create ecosystem and businesses top of this.
Absolutely. So let's just make sure we hit those main points. You just said over 200 million users, 70 million actives. So actually, let's do a little comparison. WhatsApp, I believe, has around 500 million actives. WeChat has around 350 million actives. They're both backed by large behemoth companies, Tencent and Facebook. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being an independent platform in your ability to compete in this space? While, yes, you are definitely one of the leaders, but definitely some formidable competitors.
So we actually, as a mobile platform, we are the largest in the Western world.
Absolutely.
The other 3 are Line, KakaoTalk, and WeChat that dominate China. We believe that to be private is good. We can move very, very fast. We take the decision ourselves. We have no big boards and big LP, and we believe that it's critical in mobile space to run very, very fast, lean, and we don't think that we need thousands of people. So to be private, to take the decision, execute very, very fast. We release product every 4 weeks on the client side, every 2 weeks on the server. So to keep this pace is very important.
Yeah, I'd like to also further compare the strategy. I believe you've already mentioned that you are much more than a messenger. You're an entertainment, video, messaging platform. but which is a very different strategy than WhatsApp has taken, of course. WhatsApp is, on some level, a very similar product than what it was when it began, and just focusing on messaging, whereas Tango is very quick to implement new features, new innovations. Can you compare those two strategies, and why have you taken such a different strategy?
Yeah, I think the industry maybe still don't understand the differentiation, but there is actually two categories. There is messaging apps that live and develop messaging for messaging, and they are kind of in the new carrier. They are the new carrier. They move, SMS to be over IP, and they're doing well. The question is monetization. It's not proven yet. On the other side, there is companies that become a platform. And again, there is just 4 companies today in the world that can give SDK to content provider and games to sit top of the platform. And if we see what's happening with Line in Japan and WeChat in China, the use case and the business case was proven. Actually, you are helping to third party to create business, and you create ecosystem. We believe that this combination of content platform and social discovery will disrupt many verticals. Tango itself dealing right now with gaming, music, and dating. Soon, e-commerce. And we believe that the other will do the same.
Okay, right on. So like you just mentioned, Tango's the only, I believe, the only Western messenger platform with a gaming platform within it. Can you tell us a little bit, how many developers do you have on the platform? Are those developers growing? Maybe some examples of some successful stories on the platform?
Yes, so opening the platform actually happened just 9 months ago. And it's not just gaming. Line Kakao dealing just with gaming right now and doing fantastic. We actually broad. We have a deal with Spotify, so everyone that installed Tango have access to 25 million songs. He can share, he can listen, he can share playlists. So in gaming, we have about 40 games already on the platform. Most of them monetize well. And it's not just to sit on the platform and solve distribution for them. It's also adding a social graph and adding the social component leverage from our platform. We know a lot about the users, and we share with the third-party developers.
Okay, so that brings us to our next question exactly. You've almost already answered it, but an app that would be on the Tango platform, let's say an example as a game, they're going to have to share revenue, of course, with the App Store, and they're going to have to share revenue with Tango. So why would they choose to add another hand in the pot?
You're right. This is a good question, and actually this is where the monetization come into play. There is hundreds of thousands of apps, and the world actually moved from PC, we are in the post-PC era, PC and web, to mobile and apps. And discover apps and distribution apps, it's a big, big pain to everyone that develops. So
Absolutely.
we put app in our store, and instantly 200 million users have access to this app. So we solve distribution that people paying a lot, and it's a big problem. In addition, we are true social graph. We believe, there is a lot of respect to Facebook and all the others that develop social graph, but we sit on your mobile. We know the contact list that actually you communicate with. So it's not just we know about the user who you communicate, we know what kind of content you interact with. So if you interact with music, you know what music you like. So all of this is very important to third party to embed social component to make you enjoy the game or enjoy the music more.
Okay, so not only can you help developers get more users, you help them increase engagement, help them understand how to monetize, and so on.
Absolutely,
right?
and the other point of engagement and monetization, it's even more important than distribution. But you're right, it's the all play.
Right on. And okay, so let's move on. So to Alibaba, right? And the giant round of investment that was only announced a couple months ago. Tell us a story about how that came about.
So we are share connection with one of our investors, is Jerry Yang, founder of Yao, that is strategic and smart and helping us. And when we plan a round of financing, in this stage we want to get a strategic partner, and
Absolutely.
he put us in contact with Alibaba. It was amazing the first few days with this kind of people. I'm many, I'm not young, so I'm many years in this industry. And to see giant like this, Alibaba, a big company, but behave like a startup and move fast, and you have access to people, I felt, wow, it's not just how they're doing on e-commerce, the type of the people. So we fall in love, and the deal happened very, very quick.
And so we were just talking off stage, and you were talking about how innovative you felt China was, especially even since the first time you came. Was that part of I guess, how have you learned from China, and specifically not only China but Asian messengers like KakaoTalk and WeChat? What has Tango learned from these platforms?
Yes, so I saw in the last 3 years, I spent a long time, in the last 3 years I spent many times in China. We have actually office in Beijing, and we are hiring engineers. So I saw in different vertical market, and especially in ours, that actually the innovation in this part of the world are running faster than in the Western world. So it's maybe in a change, in transition. I saw it immediately. And what Lion, Kakao, and WeChat are doing, it's amazing on many aspects, on monetization, on execution, on the platform side. They're changing the world, and we're happy to be part of this.
Right on. And so you just mentioned that you've had an R&D office here since 2010, I believe?
Yes.
So quite a while already. And now you have Alibaba Investment. What are your plans for specifically China? Does Tango have China plans beyond just the R&D office?
That are not, in the history, there are not many Western companies that was successful in China.
Sure.
It's a special,
Definitely
country. So up to the deal with Alibaba, we was very focused on USA. We believe USA is a big market. We want to own this market from messaging point of view. Definitely with Alibaba, we have a little bit more aspiration. We think that WeChat doing amazing. It's one of the really amazing company. We have a lot of respect. But we believe that Chinese user can have few options, and we hope that in the future we will be one of the options.
Okay. And also you just mentioned, I believe Alibaba definitely has some very clear international growth plans of their own. Do you expect Tango to be a part of those plans in any way, especially in the West?
We hope. You need to ask Alibaba, but they have, it's written, they have kind of the globalization to see the world global. Definitely e-commerce is one of the big motivation to bring user and help user, and it will be interesting if we can roll out product from China that will be sold in USA, and maybe also product from USA in China, and we can be part of this ecosystem. I think it will be very interesting for us.
And you mentioned that you really want to own the US. And beyond that, what markets are very important? I know you're already strong in the Middle East and in general in North America. What markets are strategic and very important to Tango in the future?
So we are very engineering and product company. We actually have no marketing, we have no BD. So we focus on to do the best product. We believe that if people like the product, they will tell their friends. And we are getting about 10 million users every month, and all it's pure viral. We never spend a dime to acquire a user. There are many other companies that spend tens of millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
And it's viral. And based on this virality, we find ourselves strong in the USA. There is few other countries like Philippines, Taiwan, Thailand that we are very strong. I think we are in the top 3. Middle East, we are strong. So we are in more than 200 countries.
Okay. And do you localize your app in other countries?
No.
No.
We translate the language, yes, 22 languages, but we are not localized. What will come in the next few months is a very important part of our offering, and this is channel. And channel will give the ability to content provider to interact directly with our users. And I believe that once we put this in the product, local content provider will focus on their local audience. So it will be a little bit more localization from this point of view. But from our point of view, it's part of the product. It's a platform.
And so there's still many different messaging platforms out there. And in fact, in some ways, they're growing, in fact, especially as there's more excitement around the space after the WhatsApp acquisition, obviously. So what do you believe that's going to come of this space over the next 3 years or even 5 years? Is there going to be consolidation where we as users get used to using multiple messaging apps depending on who we want to talk to or what we want to do? What's going to happen to this space over the next few years?
Again, I'm separating messaging apps, and there is about 25. The famous one is WhatsApp, but there are many that doing just messaging, compared to very few companies in the world that become a true platform. They believe that the messaging is part of a full offering, a full ecosystem. If we are talking about our category, a platform, we believe that it can be like the mobile carriers. There are top 5 that control different parts of the world. So we don't believe that one will dominate the world. We believe that it will be few, strong in different geographical regions. And this is what we can see in the next 2-3 years.
Okay, so we'll probably continue to have a number of different platforms, but more geographically centered as opposed to one that's growing globally.
This is what we believe.
Okay. Okay, and so let's beyond that, where do you expect Tango to be in the next 5 years?
We have huge aspiration. Again, we believe that the post-PC era give opportunities to companies like us with 200 engineers. We can get a lot done. It's not about thousands of people, it's about moving fast. We believe there's an opportunity to change the world. Everything moves to mobile anyway. We talk about 5 billion, so I believe the next 3-5 years, few apps will sit and will be on 5 billion devices, and we want to be one of them.
Okay, okay. So I believe you have helped numerous Chinese companies to grow globally. I think there's numerous Chinese companies on your platform already.
Already.
Could you give us some examples of those and how you help Chinese companies?
Tango, for example, is one of the largest mobile developers games, and there is already 3-4 games. There is a team in Tango that actually called Tango team. They focus on westernized Chinese games, and the distribution is done automatically once they're on our platform. So it's opportunity to third-party developers, not just games, also social apps, to instantly get Western users.
Okay, okay. So again, it goes back to the gaming platform, distribution, monetization, user information. Okay. And so back to our theme, you kind of mentioned already, but our theme, mobilizing the next 5 billion. And we believe over the next 5 to 10 years, there will literally be billions more people online, which will change our industry drastically. And what do you think, how do you think the industry, and it obviously is a broad question, lots of great answers for this. How do you think the industry will look in 5 to 10 years? What can we as what can developers be doing today to be preparing for that influx of new users?
Again, I'm not young. I saw many things in the internet space, up and down, but this is very interesting phase. I'm to all the young people here, it's opportunity of their life. Actually, with small team, 5, 10, 15 people, you create fantastic app and you get virality and you can get, hundreds of millions of users in a matter of 6 to 12 months. It's about choose or /bet. You need luck on the app, but the distribution that happen right now and how smartphone growing in all over the world, it's opportunity to small company to change the world. So we should be in a technology environment. We should be very excited to be in this time.
Absolutely. Well, that's about all the time we have. Again, our pleasure to have you here at GMIC.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, guys.